Formula1.com just released an article written by Mike Seymour on the impact of Drive to Survive on Formula 1. It was incredibly one-sided, with only minor lip service to the negative effects that the series and filming of the series has had on Formula 1. This is Aliens in the Paddock. Let's talk about that. F1, being bigger than ever, is undoubtedly at the aid of Netflix's docuseries Drive to Survive. Through 10 episodes per season, it covers on-track events, races, and of course, the off-track drama. I thoroughly enjoy the show, but I have been openly critical about how it portrays the drama on and off the track. Everything in the show needs to be taken with a grain of salt. Maybe I wouldn't be as big of a Formula 1 fan as I am now without the hit Netflix series. Anyway, onto the Formula1.com article. Seymour's article was based on an in-depth interview he did with the show's executive producer, a guy named James Gay Rees, talking about the past and present and the future of the show, actually giving a pretty clear indication that there are no intentions of ever ending the show anytime soon. Anyway, that's pretty funny because in my previous video about the show, I predicted that the show wouldn't get many more seasons. I'm not going to talk much here about what was spoken about in the interview. A lot of it is some perfectly valid backpatting around the success of the show and about how the Formula 1 fan demographic is finally starting to skew, which you know is what every sport wants, new and younger fans. However, a huge omission is the lack of recognition about how disruptive the production of the show has been to the teams and the drivers throughout the course of its production, along with how drama is exaggerated almost to the point of fiction. Max Verstappen famously has refused to be interviewed formally for the series until season 5, citing that the show boasted fake storylines, dramatized conflicts that weren't real to the sport. It's understandable that Max loves racing, and presumably he cares about an accurate representation of Formula 1 to new and existing fans that are watching Drive to Survive. In an article at autosport.com, Max said, "I understand, when you create a show, there needs to be drama, it needs to be exciting, but I'm a guy who finds it also very important that you're portrayed well." In Sam Barshini's article over at the AV Club titled "Formula 1 Drivers Are Getting Sick of Selective Editing in Netflix Drive to Survive," he says the core issue is that Drive to Survive pretty explicitly manipulates footage of real races and driver interaction to make it seem like there's more drama between drivers than there really is. It's just really disappointing that Formula1.com fails to mention this completely. This kind of pushback on how some drivers will not continue participating in recording for the show if they are represented dishonestly, taking quotes from them on camera and overlaying them on irrelevant footage. But according to the show's executive producer in the original article, for the coming 6th season, they have 100% permission and commitment from all 10 teams and all 20 drivers. This doesn't mention team principals though, who, if you've seen the show, actually play a pretty significant role in the show. So yeah, this video is coming off pretty negative. I'm sorry about that. I just dislike the one-sided narrative of the article and it rubbed me the wrong way. It would have been fantastic to have read about an admission of where they'd been a bit careless with narratives and the story of the show in the past and how they're going to progress. I can't argue against Drive to Survive completely though. It's a net positive for F1, definitely. I have a video about how well made I think Drive to Survive is as well. It was an early video, so please don't grill me about it. But it just goes to show how much I enjoy this show. It would be okay on my part if it was mentioned about doing better by the drivers and the team members, more accurately representing the sport while also creating an exciting and well-made show. It's worth mentioning here that Drive to Survive's success has resulted in a huge number of similar series for other sports, such as Netflix's own golf series, Full Swing, which I thought was terrible, and 100 Days to Indy, the IndyCar docuseries, which when it was announced specifically mentioned Drive to Survive as the reason for its existence. I really want to check that one out actually, although I've never seen any IndyCar ever in my entire life. But if you're an Indy fan and you've seen the show, let me know down below if it's good or not. I actually hear pretty good things. So now I got all that off my chest, I do want to reiterate the success of Drive to Survive shouldn't be downplayed. It is an incredibly well-made series with iconic episodes. Alright, comment down below if your thumbs are bored, like this video if you liked it. Thanks for watching Aliens in the Paddock.